Rex Tillerson's former boss says the deal with Iran and other disagreements was why the US Secretary of State was fired. Trump made a so far unfulfilled promise to roll back the nuclear deal with Iran, which has allowed an easing of sanctions. The brewing Cold War in the Persian Gulf between Arab nations would have been a test for any career diplomat. Tillerson-led State Department found itself scaling back comments and at times contradicting their own president when members of the Gulf Cooperation Council decided to isolate Qatar.
We saw in the beginning of the Qatar siege by the four countries last June that the initial statements that Trump made were later dropped or quietly reversed because he didn't know all the facts about U.S. relations in Qatar and the region. It's clear that the United States seems to want to resolve the GCC crisis. I think there's no doubt about that. It's also clear that they haven't been able to use their influence to get that done with the Kuwaitis. So this is very strange in many ways.
In recent weeks, more details have emerged on how a concerted effort was being made from the Middle East to get rid of Rex Tillerson. This man, businessman George Nader, has been questioned about his ties to the Emirati government and his meetings with White House officials. Nader is reported to have links with another US businessman with UAE ties, Elliot Brody. According to leaked emails obtained by the BBC, Brody reportedly lobbied against Secretary of State Rex Tillerson because he opposed the blockade against Qatar. Brody wanted Trump to hold secret talks with the UAE's Crown Prince and throw his support behind the blockading countries. Tillerson also disagreed with the current administration's backing of the Saudi government, a major weapons importer. He criticized Saudi Arabia for its meddling in Lebanon and disagreed with the Saudi position over the ongoing war in Yemen. Tillerson urged Saudi Arabia, in his words, to be a bit more measured and a bit more thoughtful in its actions. The top US diplomat cut short his trip to African nations and abruptly returned to Washington. This led to speculation in the US media that President Trump probably asked Tillerson to step aside while he was abroad. It's been a short tenure with accusations that Tillerson didn't have the staff or money to back him up as a top US diplomat. Osama bin Javaid, Al Jazeera.